Welcome back to our weekly AI recap. Man, it really felt like the entire industry just slammed on the accelerator this week. We saw some truly game-changing new tools, a blockbuster Hollywood deal, and of course, the tech giants trading some serious blows. There is a lot to cover, so let's just dive right in. So what if I told you that AI could reshape your work, your phone, and even Hollywood, all in a single week? Well, guess what? That's not some far-off hypothetical. That was literally last week. From your office workflow to the wearables on your wrist and the movies you watch, the news from the last 7 days shows just how fast and how deep AI is changing everything.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the new AI tools that are transforming the workplace. Then, we'll get into the foundational models and standards being built. After that, we'll see how AI is popping up in our daily lives, and we'll finish up with the head-to-head clash between the industry's biggest players.
All right, first up, AI tools for work. We're seeing some absolutely massive productivity boosts. And it doesn't matter if you're working in an office or, at the cutting edge of scientific research. OpenAI kicked things off with its first ever State of Enterprise AI report. And honestly, the findings are pretty stunning. A whopping 75% of workers said AI improved both their speed and the quality of their work. But check this out. Another 75% said they can now handle tasks they simply couldn't before. It's not just making them faster, it's actually expanding what they're capable of doing. And this isn't just a feeling people have. It translates to real measurable time savings. On average, business users are getting back 40 to 60 minutes every single day. And the real power users? They're reporting gains of over 10 hours a week. That's basically getting a full workday back. Just incredible. Meanwhile, Anthropic is embedding its AI right into the place where developers live, Slack. With their new Claude integration, you can literally just tag the AI in a conversation with a task, it reads the thread for context, goes into your code repository, does the work, and then drops the finished pull request right back into the chat. It's really about making the AI a seamless member of the team. And this impact isn't just happening in the software world. Microsoft's new open source model, GigaTime, is a complete game changer for cancer research. I mean, look at this comparison. It takes what used to be slow, really expensive lab work and just flips it on its head. Now, a single $10 tissue slide can give you thousands of dollars worth of tumor insights, and it does it instantly. The scale of discovery this unlocks is just mind-blowing. By creating this huge virtual library of 300,000 tumor images, GigaTime has already found over 1,200 new patterns that connect a patient's immune activity to their chances of survival. It's truly making population-scale analysis a reality. Okay, let's move on to our second section, models, math, and standards. This is where we look at the really foundational tech and the big collaborations that are paving the way for everything else we're seeing. So, the French AI startup Mistral just launched its new coding model, Devstral 2. And this is a big deal. Why? Because at just 123 billion parameters, it's scoring nearly as well as a model that's 5 times its size. That is a massive leap in efficiency. Getting that kind of power out of a much smaller model means lower costs, and it opens the door for powerful AI to run on all sorts of different devices. And speaking of the big players, we saw a huge move for collaboration this week. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Block got together to start the Agentic AI Foundation. Their goal is basically to create shared open standards for AI agents to prevent the technology from getting locked up inside a bunch of different walled gardens. And with support from pretty much everyone, Google, Microsoft, AWS, this is a massive step for the whole industry to get on the same page. This quote just perfectly captures the insane pace of progress we're seeing. Think about it. Not too long ago, AIs were famous for being terrible at math. Now, well, just you wait. And boom, here's the proof. A group called Nos Research open-sourced a new model, Nomos 1, that scored an incredible 87 out of 120 on the Putnam Mathematical Contest, which is one of the toughest in the world. To put that in perspective, that score would have placed second among almost 4,000 human competitors last year. I mean, just look at that performance gap. It's not an improvement, it's a monumental leap. Okay, so we've covered the workplace and the deep tech. Let's see how this stuff is actually showing up in our day-to-day lives. Section 3. AI meets daily life, and it's touching everything from wearables to our favorite streaming services. Well, it's official. Google is jumping into the AI wearables race in a big way. They've announced a 2026 launch for their own AI-powered smart glasses, and they're backing it up with partnerships with Samsung, Warby Parker, and Gentle Monster.
This is setting the stage for a major showdown with Meta, which has had a pretty solid head start in this space.
Microsoft gave us this fascinating peek into how we're actually using these AI assistants. Their research on Copilot reveals some really clear patterns. When we're on our phones, we're asking about health and wellness. Late at night, we get philosophical. And you can see how usage has evolved over time, shifting from early adopter stuff like programming to more mainstream social questions.
And then you have a totally different approach to AI hardware with this new Index 01 ring. It does one thing. It's a voice recorder for your brain. You just talk, and it uses on-device AI, no internet needed, to turn your thoughts into notes. At $75 with no subscription and a 2-year battery, it's betting that sometimes simple and focused is exactly what people want.
And now, for what was arguably the biggest headline of the entire week. Disney and OpenAI have locked in a massive 3-year licensing deal, and it includes a $1 billion equity investment from Disney into the AI leader.
This deal is an absolute landmark. Sora users are going to be able to generate videos with over 200 iconic characters from Disney, Marvel, Pixar, you name it. In return, Disney gets to use OpenAI's tech across its own services. Now, crucially, they sidestepped a lot of controversy by excluding actor likenesses and voices. And they're already playing hardball, hitting Google with a cease and desist. This really signals a huge shift for creative industries. They're moving from seeing AI as a threat to embracing it as a powerful, licensed tool.
And that Disney deal brings us perfectly to our final section, the AI giants clash. Because this week, the competition between the industry's biggest players just hit a whole new level of intensity. The gloves are off.
So just weeks after reports started swirling that it was losing ground to Google, OpenAI dropped GPT-5.2. It comes in 3 different tiers for different needs. The thinking tier is the real standout. It beats or matches industry professionals on real-world tasks 71% of the time. Now, the release was reportedly rushed, but it was a powerful and absolutely necessary answer to Google's Gemini.
And of course, Google fired right back. They released a majorly upgraded version of their deep research agent. The way it works is pretty cool. It's iterative. It plans a search, reads the results, figures out what's missing, and then searches again and again until it has a complete answer. And by making this available to all developers, Google is basically ensuring this kind of powerful, autonomous research is going to become a standard feature really, really fast. And that brings us to the end of a truly whirlwind week. The constant back and forth, the game-changing tools, the billion-dollar partnerships, it all points to a race that is only, and I mean only, accelerating. Which leaves us with one final thought. As this AI race hits light speed, what's the next barrier to break?